So this is the second video of my crafter build, and the first job that I had to tackle this week was getting the door to stay open on the right rear. The plastic had been broken off, probably where items had been loaded into the back, and it was a quick fix, thankfully, and a £30 eBay purchase. So a genuine VW arm was purchased, and obviously it's just 3 bolts to fit it. Nice and simple. Next up was to send the steering wheel away for refurb, so I took that off. I couldn't put up with the horrible worn plastic feel, so I decided that this was quite an important piece for me to get sorted. Then it was tackling the dirt on the inside of the van. There's quite a build-up of dust and just general debris and bits of tar, and quite a mess really to deal with. So I set about removing the floor. Every fixing and bolt seemed to have quite a lot of dirt build up inside it. I had to take off the trim pieces, and then the floor was in 3 sections. You also have to remove the fixing points at the side of the floor as well. Luckily these were all free and they weren't seized. As a van of this age, only 5 years old, it does look like it's had quite a hard life on the inside, and it has been used quite well. In some ways it makes me think that the van is older than it is. It's hard to believe that 5 years worth of commercial use can be this hard on a van, but ultimately all of the scratches and the dirt will be covered up by the interior once I've finished, and it doesn't really matter because it will be out of sight. So finally got the floor removed, and underneath it is a right mess. Almost looks like roofing tar has been spilt, so perhaps this van was used for roofing. There's loads of dust, brick dust, cement dust, screws, razor blades, drill bits, just loads of mess, and yeah, it's going to take a bit of cleaning up, to be quite honest. So after removing the floor and hoovering up all of the debris and the dirt, I decided to give the van a quick wipe over with some soapy water and a cloth, just to get the worst of the dirt off before I started removing the tar from the floor. Another job that I was going to tackle was the rattling from the sliding door on the passenger side. Initially I thought it was the ply lining that was loose, but turns out after removing that the rattle was still there. But then I noticed that there's these 2 bump stops, so after a bit of googling, it turns out there should be 2 and there's only 1 there. And then I found out that the part had been superseded by a newer item which is actually a bit longer. So we ordered 2 of these and I fitted them, and hopefully that sorts the rattle. So after a lot of elbow grease and 1.5 bottles of tar and glue remover, I eventually removed most of the tar from the floor. I also received these bed frame mounts, so I set about fitting these so that I could trial fit them. The mounts are from New Wave Conversions, and they fit virtually direct to the bodywork of the crafter. All you have to do is drill out a hexagon shaped holes to a slightly bigger size to accommodate the bolts being put through. Currently it's just a test fit so that I can measure up for the framework of the bed to be ordered. So I also removed the grab handles for entering and exiting the van. I won't be needing these, as obviously there'll be a bed in the back here and they kind of interfere with where the bed will be going anyway. Another job that I've sorted as well is the door lock on the rear. So this is an additional lock that basically locks the rear doors, so that if someone was to break into the original factory locks and try and open the doors, this lock just acts as a kind of join between the 2 rear doors, meaning it will be harder or impossible to open. Obviously nothing is really impossible, so if someone really wants to get past this lock then they probably will, but the idea is to just slow thieves down and make it as hard as possible for them to steal. This item is £33 from Amazon, and although it doesn't feel like the most robust item, again as I say, it's just about making it as hard to get in as possible. I'm I'm still not ruling out getting deadlocks fitted. I don't know whether to go for those or not. They're a little bit unsightly, but obviously they do a good job of locking the van, so potentially later down the line I'll get some of those. So I got my steering wheel back from Royal Steering Wheels. It's been retrimmed in a black leather, a bit like the optional leather steering wheel that comes from Volkswagen, and I'm really impressed with the finish. There is one more thing as well. I fitted the Climb Air window and rain guard deflector things. So yeah, basically sleeping in the van overnight, you need good ventilation, and also on just being in the van on a wet day, you need to get the air in and circulating. So these will enable me to have the windows open even if it is raining.